They ready to go in there with us?
Yes, sir. You're on the state calls. Ty Jordan.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. The witness stand and state your full name for the record.
Taima Jordan.
Mr. Jordan, where are you employed now?
I'm currently employed with Garfield Wilson Associates.
Okay. You and what are you doing over there?
I'm now a polygraph examiner and private investigator.
Okay. You used to be. Where did you used to work?
Richland County. I retired in September of last year.
Okay. And do you miss me working with me?
Actually, I do. Well, you're kind of one of my favorites.
How many years did you work for the sheriff's department?
22 with the Sheriff's Department and 3 years with Camden Police Department.
Okay. 25 years in law enforcement altogether, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And, just generally, I'm not asking for specifics, did you see a lot of change during your time in law enforcement? Just in investigations, just crimes, everything?
Absolutely.
Okay. And when you did retire from the sheriff's department, what unit were you in?
I was actually in the narcotics unit.
Okay. But at times, did you investigate violent crimes as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You had occasion on May 28, 2023 to become involved in this case, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And May 28, 2023 was the date of this incident, correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Would you walk us through how you became involved in the case?
So that was Memorial Day weekend. So I was actually supervisor on call. So the way that works is from Thursday midnight to the following Thursday midnight, there's a team of investigators that handle calls after 5 o'clock. I happened to be the supervisor on that particular shift. So we were responsible for handling any calls after 5 o'clock that require an investigator.
Okay. And at some point, did you get a call to respond to either Springtree Drive or 7441 Park Lane Road?
I did.
Okay. And what was the nature of the call?
It was a shooting hit.
Okay. Where did you respond first?
Actually, I was on the way to Ranch Road. We were called there because they have found some juveniles in a vacant apartment with firearms. So I was actually headed there to help the other investigator at that time.
Okay. So you were redirected, you're going to an incident involving juveniles and firearms. Is that what you just said?
Yes, sir.
While we're at it, you talked about a lot of changes in 25 years in law enforcement. In the year 2023, was it uncommon for the sheriff's department to get calls regarding people under 18 being involved with firearms?
It was not.
Being in possession of firearms?
It was not.
Okay. And that's illegal, is it not?
It is.
Is it your testimony and that's become something that has become more and more prevalent as time has gone on from when you started in law enforcement?
Yes, over the years it has.
Okay, so you called for service at Park Lane Road with shots fired, you said?
Shots fired or someone hit from gunfire.
And are you familiar with shots fired?
Yes, I am.
What is shots fired?
So shots fired is a system that we use or that we did use before I retired. It's a system that's placed around the county with sensors, and those sensors are able to detect gunfire.
Were you familiar with the shots fired head in this particular incident?
Yes, I was.
so essentially, that's just microphones that they're set up around Columbia and Richland County in certain places that they're basically microphones on the tower,
Correct. Microphones and sensors.
and they're trained to pick up gunfire.
That is correct.
Let me show you states number 5. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is that just a copy of the shot spotter that was picked up on this occasion?
It is.
All right. I'm going to take off the states number 5 for mission of evidence.
Objection? No objection. All right, it'll be state 5 without objection.
Okay, so that would be something that ShotSpotter would pick up, and then does that, ShotSpotter detects gunfire, do they alert local law enforcement?
Right. That's exactly what happens.
Okay, and so is a time attached to those ShotSpotter alerts?
It is.
Okay. When you respond to 7441 Parkland, do you go directly there, or did you go to the scene on Springtree Drive?
To the scene on Spring Tree Drive.
Okay. And what was going on Springtree when you got there?
I think EMS has already left. There were several other investigators already there, and also deputies that were there as well.
Okay. Was crime scene there yet?
I don't recall seeing them yet.
Okay. Was Mr. Chow there at Springtree, or had he already gone back to Parkland?
I don't remember seeing him at the scene.
Okay. All right. So you probably didn't spend too much time at the Springtree Road incident, did you?
No, I did not.
Did you go to 7441 Parkland then?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And who was there when you went there?
It was Mr. Rick Chow, the defendant, Andy Chow, and Alice Chow.
Okay. At that particular time, what was your understanding of what you were investigating?
Apparently, the victim in this case apparently or allegedly has stolen some water, and so we went back to the store to try to get surveillance video to see if that actually occurred.
Okay. So Mr. Chow was there, you said?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And was he cooperative with you as far as trying to obtain video?
Oh, he was. Yes.
All right. There was some testimony earlier about a room that he had his equipment in. Do you remember that room?
Yes. So you walk in the store, you pass the front counter, kind of make a small left, slightly, actually a small right, and it's right there in the back.
Okay. What do you remember about that room?
Monitors and hard drives everywhere.
Okay. And did you direct Mr. Chow to look up a certain time period?
Correct. That would be correct.
And what was that time period? What were you trying to watch and review on the video?
Try to see the time that the victim came into the store, and also the alleged shoplifting that they said that occurred.
Okay. Did you have multiple angles to choose from as far as video camera surveillance footage?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And did you review multiple angles?
Yes, we did.
Okay. We had earlier a series of clips. It's states number 3, which has been admitted into evidence. And we have a number of slides that came from that were also admitted into evidence. I'm going to walk through those with you and just see these videos that you would have reviewed. But first of all, let me, was Deputy English in there in the room with you and Mr. Chow when y'all were looking at the video?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And he was wearing his body-worn camera?
Correct, he was.
We're going to, it's in evidence as Deputy English's body cam. We haven't published this portion yet. But it's in evidence as his body cam. We're going to publish a section just of them back in the security. So we're going to call that states number 84. permission to publish states 84%.
Okay, yes, sir.
Him in the rig. It's something. Like she walked in the door. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna pick up all speed on the dip. You told him to put on the backpack besides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ty, just real quick, did you find Mr. Chow being to be an adept at navigating through his security system?
Very much so.
Okay, we just saw some of it. Was he able to fast forward his video?
Fast forward, rewind, slow it down,
Okay.
enlarge.
Was he able to speed it up?
Yes.
Put it in reverse?
Yes.
Zoom in?
Yes.
Zoom out?
Yes.
Toggle between different cameras?
Yes.
Was he able to do that for you rather quickly?
Yes.
Okay. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
We have another camera. Let me not touch anything. We have a camera that will show. Yes. That's good. You want to see this? I see that. Do that right now. Yeah. It's up here, so you can see. So we're going to put it back on. What's it on where we can see? I'm gonna let you see it and tell me what you're doing. Go back to the television. Yeah, go back to when you first here. Back to the police photo. can you go back to that, the video we just watched beforehand, we had over in the water cooler. Yeah.
Tyler, what did you just say?
Asked him, could he go back to the angle where he was at the water cooler?
All right, so you just asked him, can you rewind and go back to the angle where he's at the water?
Correct.
Why did you ask him? Why did you direct him to do that?
Well, wanted to look at it to see exactly what the young man did to make sure that we saw what we thought we saw.
Okay. To your knowledge, was any stolen merchandise found on or around Mr. Cyrus Carmack-Belton?
No.
Okay. And you're asking him now to go back to the scene where he's at that water cooler, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I'm going to continue playing it now, okay?
Yes, sir.
Can you go back one more time? I want to count how many you picked up and how many you put down.
Make this normal. Here's the half. I think you pick.
How long did you last?
About 2 years old. So I can say before it's not shooting.
What? Everybody comes out here to the mall and
You remember that moment when you realized Cyrus never took anything? Do you remember that?
I do.
And in the video, Mr. Chow turns and he just sort of does that.
He does that.
Was anybody showing any emotion during this time? To your recollection?
Not to my recollection, no.
And so he's fast forwarding, he's reversing, he's zooming in, and he's pausing. He's putting it in slow motion. Is that what you remember?
That's what he was doing.
All right. I'm going to show you some videos now that came from states number 4. That's the number slide. And we haven't published them yet, but you saw them that night. You've seen them since. Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes.
So I'm going to start with slide 2, states number 4. Okay, I'm going to go next to slide 3 of states number 4. Next is slide 4 of states, slide 4 of states number 4. Moving on to states 5, slide 5 of states number 4. Slide 6 of states number 4.
Put down your backpack. Backpack needs to put on the ice cream chest. Yep.
Okay. Going on to slide 7 of states number 4. Investigator Jordan, while we're watching that, who is this woman that we're seeing right here in this screen?
Alice Chow.
Alice?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other male we've seen in the videos with the hat on backwards too?
Andy Chow.
Okay, thank you. Who is that individual
In the plaid shirt,
in the plaid shirt?
Rick Chow.
All right. Moving on to slide 10 of stage number 4. Slide 11 in stage number 4 is next. Slide 14 of States 4. Let me ask you, Investigator D, your view of the videos, did Cyrus Carmack-Belton ever brandish a firearm inside of 7441 Park Lane Road, the Shell gas station owned by Rick Chow?
He did not.
Did Cyrus Carmack-Belton ever point a red laser that was attached to a Taurus pistol while he was in the Shell station at 7441 Park Lane Road?
He did not.
To your knowledge, has anybody ever said he did that
It's in the store?
in the store?
No, no one.
I want to go down to slide 15 of States Number 4. Next is slide 16 of States Number 4. States 17, or slide 17 of States Number 4.
You got one in your pocket? You got one in your pocket? What? In your pocket?
Yeah. I don't have no water in my pocket. I don't got no water in my pocket, but I'll show you water. This is good one. No, and then it's down.
Hey, man.
Take it in a box. Go up. Good? Okay.
Moving on to states, or slide 18 of States Number 4. Do you agree with it? There was multiple angles that you were able to review of the same incident?
That is correct.
Next on my list is slide 19 of States Number 4. Slide 20, States Number 4. Next is slide 21, States Number 4. ever see the shoe that popped off of him in that slide?
When I went back to the store, it was on the counter along with 2 cell phones.
Okay. And who had collected those cell phones and that shoe?
Alice Chow.
And she had taken it from the scene and brought it back to the gas station?
That is correct.
Do you know if she took any other evidence from the scene?
I do not.
Okay. But the crime scene was unable to collect the shoe and the cell phones from where they were originally found because Alice Chow had already moved them?
That is correct.
All right, I'm going to skip a couple here and do your slide 24 of states number 4. Slide. Slide 25 of states number 4. What would that just depict?
Ms. Chow with the shoe and 2 cell phones.
Going now to slide 31 of stage 4, which is these videos kind of stitched together as Justin Martin had described before.
Put down your backpack. Backpack needs to put on the ice cream chest. Yep.
Jordan. This is states 67 and 68. Do you recognize those just to be screenshots from videos we just watched?
They are.
I see 70, 71. Do you recognize those to be screenshots from the videos we just watched?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Now, the state offers states 67 and 68 for admission into evidence.
Yeah, I think they're screenshots from what they already put in on some other pictures.
Oh, they're already in?
Well, there are videos that they just played that are
Okay.
screenshot from those
All
videos.
right.
And then also 70 and 71 for admission into evidence.
All right. Say 67, 68, 70, and 71 will be in without that.
Ty, let me show you 61 and 62. You recognize those all stated to be just screenshots from videos we just watched?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And what about 63 and 66?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Now, the state offers states 61, 62, 63, and 66 for admission to evidence.
Okay.
Mr. Scott, may I see those, not those two, the two that are still in front of you? Just make sure I don't need to renew mine. Okay. You know, just, no objection, but just renew our pretrial objection.
Sure. All right. Then we'll be admitted as states 61, 62, 63, and 66, subject to a pretrial objection.
Thank you. Let me put up states 63. All right. Investigator Jordan, 25 years in law enforcement. Have you had occasion to handle a case where you had video or a picture of a suspect that you were trying to identify?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And is it common to eventually identify subjects based on surveillance video or photography for that matter?
It's very common.
And is it helpful if you have high definition video or screenshots of an individual?
Yes, it is.
Is it helpful in your experience to have good descriptions of the clothing they're wearing?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be helpful in a case like this, if you're trying to identify somebody who is suspected of shoplifting, to be able to do freeze frames, to be able to reverse, to be able to zoom in on their picture? Would that be helpful in identifying them?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If you were looking for a suspect, and they were accused of something, and you had the video footage of them from multiple angles, you said that would be helpful. What if you had their shoe? Would that be helpful?
Yes, it would.
What sorts of things could you do if a suspect left their shoe behind at a scene and you were trying to identify them?
DNA or fingerprints.
You could request DNA or fingerprints?
Yes.
All right. What if a suspect, you had multiple camera angles of their face, high definition videos of their face, you had their shoe? What if they left behind 2 cell phones? Would that help you in identifying that person if they did commit a crime? Would that be helpful to you?
Yes, it would.
Have you ever responded, or has your department ever responded to a call for service to a convenience store because there was a complaint of shoplifting?
Yes.
And is that common?
Unfortunately, yes.
But that's your job. Is that not the sheriff's department's job to respond to calls for service if somebody is accused of theft at a store?
It is.
And is it your job to investigate if you were called to a convenience store for the crime of shoplifting?
Yes, it is.
have any knowledge of your department instructing employees or owners of convenience stores to follow suspected shoplifters and chase them down?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Not that you're aware of. Have you ever heard of anybody in your department instructing anybody to do that?
No.
You familiar with facial recognition technology?
I am.
And what is that? Investigator Jordan, do you think it would be, you would have some tools to work with if you had gotten a call that this guy, this boy right here, is stolen? Do you think you would have some tools to help identify him
Yes.
and investigate whether or not he had stolen water?
Yes.
Do you feel confident law enforcement could have handled this?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. Answer any questions that Mr. Kent has.
Jury is seated, Your Honor.
Investigator, I want to give you your proper title. Could you tell me what you would like me to call you?
Ty is fine.
Ty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to make sure I give you your proper title and your respect that you are due. You have been sitting in the courtroom, so you understand normal questions I ask people at the beginning, so I don't think that's necessary. You've testified many times before. Is that a fair statement?
That is correct.
And the two of us have never met. Is that also a fair statement?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, we'll focus over here while I ask you these questions. I want to go through a little background to make sure I understand a little bit more about you. Is that a fair statement?
That's fine.
Okay. As I ask you these questions, I just want to make sure I understand a little bit of everything. You were with Force for how long?
25 years.
In those 25 years, you started out with your training at the Criminal Justice Academy?
That is correct.
And at the Criminal Justice Academy, they gave you training?
They did.
They training on how to become a police officer, if you will?
Essentially, yes.
Training on report writing,
Yes.
investigative techniques,
Yes.
witness interviewing,
Yes.
and in conjunction with that, the other thing that we also work on is you go to seminars,
Continuing education classes, yes.
and you've been to many continuing education classes, I'm assuming.
Yes, to keep certification.
And we do all of these things to make sure that we are good investigators, officers, stewards of the community. Is that also a fair statement?
That's fair.
And when we go through these classes and things of this nature, we want to make sure that we uphold a certain standard so that we treat every case the same. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
And when we look at these things, we talk about the investigative techniques, the witness interviews, investigation, collecting evidence. We want to make sure we uphold a specific standard so that later we can sit down and talk to a jury or a judge about what has happened in the case.
That's fair.
We want to make sure when we're looking at these cases that we don't use our memories, we use the evidence and information that we find on scene or from witnesses, so we do everything correctly.
That's fair.
Because we do not want to rely on witnesses' memories and we do not want to rely on emotion when we're trying to make decisions. Is that a fair statement?
That's fair.
And we do not want emotions to get in the way of actual critical evidence and police work. Is that also fair?
That's fair.
You have been put on the stand. Is it safe to assume that you are the case agent in this case?
For lack of better words, yes.
Okay. And as the case agent, I am free to ask you questions about this case. You're pretty familiar with it, as the solicitor just did.
I am.
And you have looked at all of the information, the files, the witnesses, the evidence, everything that I was just asking you about that we do in a very specific way to make sure we can do things critically. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And so I'm free to ask you questions about what has happened, the investigation, the evidence, and the other witnesses that were talked to in response to this specific case.
Yes, you are.
And so first, I want to talk to you about, and we spent some time talking about the store in question. So again, I want you to tell the jury, where is this store?
7441 Parkland Road here in Richland County, Columbia.
And one of the things that we started talking about in the cross-examination and the direct examination from the state is they were talking to you about the victim in this case, correct? Remember, they were talking to you about him.
Yes.
And when they were talking to you about him, they were talking about him going inside of the store, correct?
Yes.
And there was questions about when he walked inside of the store, what was he doing?
He's walked in the store.
He's walking into the store.
Correct.
And through the course of your investigation, is that something that you looked at to make sure that he was just walking into the store? Not anything else. Did we just investigate, or we just say he's just walking into the store, we don't investigate any further? I'm just asking.
Walked into the store, then we observed whatever else is on the video.
And so you watched the young man walk in throughout the store.
I did.
And as you walked him through the store, did you think anything when you watched the video yourself? Did you see him walking around the store and you say, this is a little strange? You had mentioned that you had studied and looked at shoplifting for many times. Did you look at the video and thought there was something there?
No.
You didn't think there was anything suspicious or anything strange about his behavior patterns, walking around, or how he acted in the store?
No.
And this is, you have testified to this jury that you have investigated how many shopliftings in your time?
I can't give you a count on that. I've investigated numerous cases.
And when we investigate shoplifting cases, one of the things that we look at is we watch the behavior patterns and how individuals walk around the business. And as your testimony, there was nothing odd or strange about this.
No.
So when we watch the investigation and look into the behavior patterns of a young man who walked inside of the store, you watched him go to a water cooler. Is that correct?
I did.
And when you watched him go to the water cooler, you saw him take water bottles out and put water bottles back in. Correct?
Did.
And as a matter of fact, when you saw him taking water bottles in and back out, immediately the first time you could not tell what was done, and you asked to rewind it and watch it again.
Just to make sure that I saw what I thought I saw the first time.
And you had them zoom in so you could look a third time to make sure you saw what you thought you saw.
Yes. Yes.
And so you saw the long young man put water bottles in, put water bottles back out several times, or twice maybe, I think.
Well, he took them out and then put them back.
And you thought there was nothing peculiar about this.
No.
And I'm looking at this case, looking at the background that you know everything about. You know your young man went into the store with an empty book bag.
With the empty book bag?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes.
I'm asking you. You're the case agent.
Yes.
I'm
I
asking
mean,
what evidence
there's
is
other
this?
contents in there, but I mean, it was essentially empty, yes.
It was essentially empty book
Yes.
bag. And you've heard testimony that he went in there with a firearm.
Yes.
Okay, so this young man, and there's also been testimony that there was no money on him. There was no finances on him whatsoever.
That is correct.
So this young man went into the store with no money, an empty book bag, and a loaded firearm, and you're telling this jury there was nothing suspicious about that.
Well, we don't know they didn't have any money on him at all. There was no money found on him.
Again, my question was, you're telling this jury there's nothing suspicious about that.
Absolutely not.
And that is normal, and that happens.
It depends on who you are, what your normal is.
I'm asking you as the investigator.
But I can't speak on behalf of him. It's okay. I would probably do the same thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
You would go into a business with an empty book bag, a loaded firearm, with a bullet in the chamber, with no money in your pocket?
No, you asked me
If
about
you'll
the
let me
money.
finish. Okay, I guess what happened is, officer, if you'll allow me to ask my question, I promise you I'll give you opportunity to answer. If you
Okay.
simply allow me to finish the question, I'll give you as much time as you want. Is that a fair statement?
Fair.
So as I was saying, what you said to this jury right now is you probably would have done the same thing. And my question was, as in going into a business with an empty book bag and a firearm, pick water in and out of a cooler with no finances or no money on you to pay for it. That's something that you would have done, is what your testimony was?
To that question, no.
Okay. And it's your testimony that that behavior that I just described was nothing that caused you any concern whatsoever in watching the videos and rewatching them.
Well, that was determined or found out after the fact, as far as the book bag being empty and him having a firearm.
Well, officer, when we talk about investigation, one of the things we talked about is we investigate the entire thing, the totality of the circumstances. We don't piecemeal investigation, do we?
We do not.
And so we investigate the totality of the circumstance. So are you telling me you did not investigate the totality?
We did, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
But you asked about the store. At the time he was in the store, there was no indication that he had a firearm, that the book bag was empty, and that he had no money. No one knew that.
But you did when you investigated because you're the investigator. You're not a witness in this case, correct?
Correct?
You are an investigator.
Correct.
We do not try with emotions, correct?
Correct.
We try to utilize evidence and look at the full scene so we can present the full story to the jury, as I just asked you, correct?
That's correct.
And so looking at the totality of the circumstances, your testimony to this jury, there was nothing strange about that behavior
Once again,
as an investigator.
him going into the extra question, because you do a lot of word salad, so can you give me the actual question?
That behavior is not strange?
For him to have a book bag?
An empty book bag, a loaded firearm, a bullet in the chamber, going inside with no money to pay for anything, pulling water in and out of a cooler, putting it back and forth.
Objection, Your Honor. Number one, ask and answer. Number two is opinion testimony is what he's asking. Do you find this to be strange? Your opinion.
I'll allow it, but just one more time.
The firearm being on him is the only thing that I would find that would be not right.
Okay. And so now let's go to the firearm. Through the course of your investigation, one of the things we have to figure out is ownership of said firearm. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is.
And the solicitor was asking you questions about 14-year-olds in the community with firearms. You remember talking about that a little bit?
I do.
And you are aware that Richland County, your sheriff's office, your sheriff, has a problem with children and minors with firearms.
That is correct.
And it is not your testimony to get on the stand and normalize it and say it's okay. It is a problem.
It is a problem.
And so we're not trying to sit here and say it's okay for a minor to have a firearm with a bullet in the chamber going into a store. That is not your testimony, is it?
No, it's not okay.
And as we are trying to figure out those little things that we have figured out about that firearm, do you agree that we figured out and found DNA on that firearm?
We did.
And the DNA belonged to who?
Cyrus?
So there, we have that. And then during you utilizing your investigation, you have testified prior before that you looked and utilized and went through the social media of Cyrus. Is that a fair statement?
I didn't go through his actual stuff, but what was given to me through extractions and through their findings, I was told what was in there.
As the investigator, the lead investigator on this case, one of the things we went through is to look to try to figure out the ownership of the firearm.
Correct.
And one of the things we utilized is went through his social media page to figure out ownership of the firearm.
Social media wouldn't tell me that he actually owned that gun. He's 14, so he wouldn't be able to purchase a gun.
I apologize, and that's a bad question. Ownership and or possession. Is that a better statement?
Yes.
And through the course of your investigation, you discovered that he had possessed that exact firearm within 24 hours of this incident.
It appeared to be the same gun, yes.
And this is something you have testified to prior. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
I'm going to show you this picture and ask if you recognize it, and have been asked to testify to that prior under oath before. You can look at me. You don't have to ask permission.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you can look at me and ask. The question, do I need to repeat the question, officer?
Yes.
Do you recognize the picture based upon the questions that I just asked you about your investigation, and have you testified about it formally under oath before?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it a picture and what does it depict?
Picture of Cyrus holding a gun.
Which gun?
It's a black gun with a light on it.
Does it appear to be the gun in the case that we're talking about today?
It does appear to be the gun.
And that is a picture from his social media that was posted on his social media.
He was on his social media.
And that picture, could you describe what he's wearing?
A red hoodie with Chucky on the front.
Is it the exact same outfit he was wearing when he went into the store on the date that we're talking about?
The hoodie, yes.
Now, at this point in time, to remove this in as defense number one. I'm sorry, Judge.
With objection to foundation, Your Honor, as we discussed before.
Okay. All right. based on the pretrial motions, I'll allow it as defense one, subject to state's objection.
Now, before we get into a little bit more about the ownership of the firearm, now, the picture that we're talking about and I should have taken it from there, I apologize. The picture that we have just admitted from defense exhibit number 1, that comes from a social media page, correct? As you just testified to.
Yes,
Okay, and that was from his Instagram page, and that was actually a larger post that was posted. Is that a fair statement?
correct.
It's a screen grab from a larger post.
Correct.
Can you describe to the jury what that post was that you saw when you looked?
I don't remember the exact.
You don't
post.
remember what the post was?
No.
If I show you the post, will it help refresh your memory?
Yes.
One moment. No. First witness, Your Honor. I'll show you. Does that video help refresh your recollection as to the question I just asked you about where did the screen grab of that picture actually come from?
A video.
And could you describe to the jury what was in that video?
The gun in his hand.
And what was he doing with the gun in his hand?
He had in his hand. The light was on, so I couldn't see what he was doing behind the light. But he had the gun in his hand.
You're a 25-year officer. You've been doing this a long time, correct?
Correct.
You know firearms.
Yes,
You understand firearms.
I do.
And you're telling the jury you do not know what he was doing in that video?
The light was flashing, so it appeared that it could have been pointed at the camera, and that's the way it appeared. But I can't say that for sure because of the glare of the light behind the flashlight.
But this is a video from his Instagram that goes with the screen grab that we were just talking about now, correct?
Yes.
And this is one of the things that we utilize to determine and prove ownership of the firearm that we're talking about in question.
Once again, he's 14, so he can't actually, own or buy the gun, but he had it in his possession.
And his DNA is on the firearm.
Correct.
Your Honor, at this point in time, we would move the full video at Defense Exhibit 2, based upon what you just testified to, understanding the defense's and the prosecution's pretrial objection.
It's a foundation issue. That's not how this evidence comes in. And we talked about this and talked about it relatively.
We addressed that in pretrial motions, and I think I've already ruled on that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's not coming in. Well, there's an email that explains it.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I mentioned first defense number 1.
Sure.
Let me shrink that down. There was a question for some time about the light that was found on the scene that was attached to the firearm. Looking at defense exhibit number 1, is that one of the things that would aid us in discussing where that light came from?
It could.
It could or it does?
You asked, could it aid? I said it could aid.
Okay. Did it?
Yeah, it did.
So is that from your example, from looking at defense exhibit number 1, is that the light that was on the firearm that was found on scene that day?
It appears to be.
And that would be the firearm that we believe is in state's exhibit number 11. And I'll show that to you all.
Yes.
So again, through the course of your investigation, do you not find it strange, weird, peculiar that on the day before this, or within 24 hours, this is posted and then he goes into the store through your investigation?
You shouldn't have had a gun, period.
Okay. Now I want to talk about the things that happened inside of the store, okay? Is that fair?
Okay.
And talking about what happened inside of the store in the videos that we just watched, we watched actions of different individuals. We watched the actions of Andy Chow. That he asked.
I don't know if you're asking me a question or making a statement, sir.
Did we watch the actions of Andy Chow?
We did.
Did we watch the actions of Rick Chow?
We did.
Did we watch the actions of Alice Chow?
We did.
And did we watch the actions of Cyrus?
We did.
We've already established that Cyrus would have had a firearm when he walked inside of the business.
That's correct.
We've already established that he legally did not have a right to either own that firearm or walk into the business with that firearm.
That is correct.
And then one of the questions comes up, and we're going to talk about Andy Chow's action that we watched in the video first. Okay? You have been at the front of that store before and looking back to where the coolers are?
On that day,
Anytime, like in part of your investigation, anytime.
I may have been in that store in my time in Richland County maybe 3 times, if that.
And that's fine. And one of the things that we have talked about is that Andy Chow had made a determination that he believed that Cyrus was stealing from the store.
Okay.
Is that a fair statement?
It is.
And then you went and looked back and forth at that video, and it appeared as though nothing had been stolen.
That is correct.
And that he was putting water back and forth, but it did not appear that he had stolen something.
That is true.
And so, but still, from Mr. Chow, and I mean Andy's vantage point, that's what he had told you he had thought. Is that a fair statement?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and what somebody else thought. Sustained.
This case is all about if shoplifting occurred, according to the state, correct?
It is.
When he went back up to the counter from the videos we watched, the question is, did he have anything in his front hood? Is that a fair statement?
They asked me if he had any water in his front hood.
And it appeared as though there was something heavy in his front hood.
I believe so, yes.
Could you see how someone could have mistaken water for a firearm?
Objection, that's the proper question.
Yeah, I'll sustain that. Also speculation.
And watching the videos at the front that we've replayed, were you able to see something heavy in that front hood?
Not necessarily, but
What do you mean? Did you look?
I did.
Okay. And were you able to see and check if there was anything heavy from your vantage point looking at these videos?
He had his hands in his pocket.
And in your 25 years of experience, was that suspicious behavior?
Keep your hands in your pocket?
Yes, sir.
No.
When you went back and looked at the videos, we can agree, based upon your testimony, that Rick Chow was being very helpful in letting you see the videos.
He was.
And when he was talking to you about the videos, as we were watching them on the screens, he was asking Alice, when did the shoplifting occur? Something like that. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Okay. And so is it safe to say, and in watching the videos that we watched, most of the actions that happened inside of the store are Alice Chow, Andy Chow, and Cyrus.
That is correct.
And Rick Chow is in the back.
Yes.
And Rick Chow is the one who is showing you the videos.
He was.
And then once the three of you, and I think it was you, Officer English, and Rick, were looking at the videos, I think you had made the impression when he saw nothing was taken, he put his hands up or something like that?
He did.
Genuine shock?
I don't know if it was genuine.
Did you think it wasn't?
I didn't know what to think.
Okay. Did you indicate that in a report, anything of that nature, that I felt that he was faking or anything of that nature?
No.
And we had talked about when we do report writing that we want to make sure we have specifics. Would you agree with me there?
That's true.
And we don't want speculation.
Don't.
And we don't want to rely on our memory from 3 years ago.
But the video showed what it showed.
And what I'm asking you is the shock. Did you indicate anywhere in his report that he looked like he was faking, this was not genuine, he was making this up?
Well, I didn't say any of those words, but the video showed what it showed.
And when he talked to you, he had no lawyer with him.
He did not.
He didn't request a lawyer.
Not to my knowledge, no.
He just was talking to you and helping you and aiding you on what was going on.
That is correct.
And the conversations that were happening at the front of the store were between Alice Chow and Andy Chow concerning the potential shoplifting. Would you agree with me there?
That is true.
And none of the conversations were between Rick Chow and this young man.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And not that we saw in any of the video.
That is correct.
And also, we've gone back and forth, and I understand how you feel about following someone out of the store. That this is not something you would advise anyone to do. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely not.
And you would definitely not advise anyone to follow anyone, chase anyone for 130 yards. You agree
Absolutely
with that?
not.
But you would also agree that that's not against the law.
It's because not against the law, you have to use common sense sometimes.
Correct. But we're not sitting here and saying following out of the store is against the law.
It is not, but once again, common sense has to be applied.
And in certain situations, we have, and you've been asked this question before, officers sometimes have to follow individuals. Would you agree with me there?
We do, and we're trained to do so, and we are, once again, trained to do that, and that's our job as law enforcement officers.
And sometimes
to go into danger so that you, as other citizens, do not have to do so.
And sometimes officers make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And we can only take the information that is presented to us as we are paying attention at that point in time. Is that fair? Meaning the officer who walks in a situation, he can just take the situation as he sees it.
You could.
And in a situation, if, and this question was asked to you before, if you are following someone and they turn and point a gun at you and or your partner, what would you do?
Tell them to drop it.
And if they did not, what are you trained to do?
Fire, stop the threat.
Mr. Chow has a concealed weapons permit,
He does.
and that was part of the investigation that you looked into.
Correct.
And that is something that we also teach in the concealed weapons classes. Would you agree with me there?
What's that?
That the same thing that they teach you officers on how to be proper and how to assess threats and things of that nature.
Correct.
Have you had opportunity to look at all of the interviews and everybody who's given an interview in this case?
I have.
Are you pleased with the way that other officers conducted and did their interviews?
We all do things differently, but I have confidence in all my fellow co-workers. They did it to the best of their ability.
To the best of their ability. But there's some things that could always be done different. Is that a fair statement?
Some things we all can do different, all do better. You're human.
And when I started talking to you, one of the things I was asking you about, Ty, is trying to, well, maybe I didn't ask this question, but I'll ask it now. When we try to get statements, do we try to get them as close to the incident time as possible?
We do.
Almost always. That is one of the things that is paramount to be an officer. You try to get as close to the incident as possible.
Try to, yes.
And I'm not trying to cut you off, but could you explain to the jury, why do we want to get something so close?
Well, we want to do it also, I guess, to capture the time so that nothing is possibly forgotten to help with the investigation.
And that is a great answer and a great question. We want to make sure nothing's forgotten. Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
I apologize. Sometimes I do make statements instead of questions. But one of the questions that we want to make sure witnesses do not forget.
That is correct.
We want to make sure that witnesses' memories aren't merged with someone else's memories.
True.
We want to make sure that social media and things of that nature don't influence an individual's memories.
That's correct.
And these are the things that we're taught at the Criminal Justice Academy, as well as the seminars and classes that you've attended. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And we try to make sure that when we interview witnesses, and I think we've watched some of the body camera, we want to separate people. We don't want them interviewed together.
Correct.
I mean, that's one of the first things to tell you. Do not interview witnesses together.
Correct.
Why don't we want witnesses interviewed together?
You want each person's authentic statement and what they saw and not have them impact each other.
And as an investigator, as an officer, as a gentleman who's doing this a long time, you have seen situations when other statements influence other individuals when done incorrectly. Is that a fair statement?
I haven't.
I know you've never done it, but have you ever seen a situation where someone's statement can be influenced by someone else's statement?
Not that I can recall.
You do not believe that actually happens?
You actually have, if I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I have not. I said I can't recall ever seeing it.
Correct. Have you seen a situation where an officer interviews two individuals at the same time?
I have not.
And we watch all the body cams in this case.
Yes.
Would you agree with me sometimes some of the officers are actually talking to individuals as they're together getting statements at the same time?
In this case?
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing that.
But if that did happen, that would be a no-no?
It would be.
We talked, well, we haven't talked yet, but 911 calls are something that's also very important.
That is correct.
Because 911 calls, that's when we get the, not to use the legal phrase that all of us know, the excited utterance. That's when we get the person's true emotion when they're talking and what really happened. And that's as close to the incident as possible a lot of times.
That can depend. Sometimes people's emotions and what they see can cause them to maybe, how can I say it? Maybe forget things that they saw, but once they calm down and think about it all the time, they start to remember things. And so that's why we try to bring them back sometimes so that we can get a more detailed statement.
But don't we worry about witnesses coming in and giving 2-3 different types of statements? Isn't that a concern that we have as officers?
It is.
And you were in here, we worry about individuals giving different statements. We want things to be consistent. Is that fair?
That is true.
And when we're talking to the jury, our goal is to try to present all facts to a jury so they can have everything, so they can understand what happened on the scene, so they're not taking our opinion. Is that
To the
fair?
best of our ability, yes.
Did you interview either Rick or Andy? And I don't know, I'm literally asking.
Andy?
You did interview Andy Chow?
Yes.
Thank you for indulgence. Was a question asked of some witnesses, and you may or may not be able to answer this, but since you are the investigator who knows the full file. There was a question asked that anyone on scene was told that Cyrus pointed a gun at Andy Chow, or if Andy or Rick Chow ever said that. Do you remember?
I don't recall.
So you do not remember if that was said?
I don't recall at that time.
That was such a bad question. It could have like 6 different answers, so that's on me. You do not recall the question being asked of anybody, or, well, first let's start there. Do you recall that question being asked?
I don't.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, did Ricky or Andy Chow on that night indicate that Cyrus had pointed a gun at Andy Chow?
Objection, Your Honor.
That's fine. You've heard the testimony of some of the witnesses who have testified. As the case agent, was there ever any concerns about the veracity of any of the witnesses who had testified?
No.
Did any of the officers under your steward, when we were looking at this case, questioned any of the witnesses' veracity?
Objection again to hearsay, Your Honor.
Same.
And I promise you I'm almost done. I promise you I am. Take the court's indulgence from me.
Yes, sir.
And I very much appreciate your testimony because this is a difficult time, a difficult situation, and I don't want to take that for granted. But just to make sure I go back and finish. Cyrus Belton went into the store with a firearm.
He did.
It was illegal for him to walk into the store with a firearm.
It was illegal.
Through the course of your investigation, you showed that he had possession of that firearm within 24 hours before going into that store.
Correct?
The firearm was equipped with the light that we see on the TV now.
Yes.
Through your investigation, you found no money or payment ability for Cyrus to pay for anything in that store.
Did not.
The book bag you found had nothing inside of the book bag.
There's some papers in there, but essentially, no.
Your testimony is there was nothing strange that you thought of going inside of that store with nothing in it. Nothing in the book bag, other than the gun. I'm sorry, I don't want to. You thought it was strange going into the store with a gun.
Correct.
Rick Chow immediately talked to you that evening.
Not. He talked to, I guess, other people there, but then spoke to me at the store to show me the video. Yes.
No attorney.
No.
He went down and showed you the video surveillance.
He did.
He comported with everything that you asked.
As far as the video, yes.
When you were watching the video, you had to watch it not one, not two, but 3 times. And on the 3rd time, you had to blow it up.
Didn't have to, but he said that he could.
He said he could.
Yes.
And then when it was shown that it appeared as though this person may not have taken anything, he said something that showed shock, but you're not sure if it was genuine.
The video speaks for itself.
And he was not in the store when the shoplifting occurred, or the alleged shoplifting occurred.
Who?
Mr. Chow. He was in the back. I'm sorry, he was not in the main area of the store.
Correct.
Is that a better question?
Yes.
Andy Chow and Alice appeared to be the one having conversations with this young man.
That's true.
Andy and Alice are not charged with anything.
No.
Andy Chow is the one who went out of the store first.
Yes.
You conducted an interview with Andy, and we can't get into that, of course, but you conducted the interview with Andy
I did.
on the scene.
No.
So you conducted an interview with him later.
Correct.
You're aware he gave several interviews on scene.
I learned that. Yes.
You learned that, yes.
Yes.
Later, that he gave several
Yes.
interviews on scene. And Rick Chow gave several interviews on scene, and we saw a portion of one already.
I learned that.
Yeah, but we saw
Yeah,
one of them.
yes.
We
I'm
saw
sorry,
a
yes,
portion of
yeah.
one of them all there together. And then finally, you have testified, we may disagree with it, we may not like it, but you would agree it is not against the law to follow and or chase somebody from leaving from the store.
Not against the law, but once again, use and exercise common sense.
And you are not sitting here testifying even with any suggestion that you believe it is okay for a 14-year-old in Richland County to have a gun with a bullet in the chamber.
It's not okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Tom.
Yes, sir.
Anything on either end?
If you saw 2 grown men chasing a child down the road, one armed, would you intervene?
I would.
Okay. Was Rick Chow licensed law enforcement?
He was not.
2023, were you licensed law enforcement?
I was.
In 25 years of being a licensed law enforcement officer, have you found yourself in dangerous situations before?
Yes.
How many times have you shot people?
Never.
Have there been times in these dangerous situations where you were felt compelled to have restraint instead of pulling out a firearm and shooting somebody?
Yes.
In 25 years of law enforcement in Richland County, you never aimed a gun at anybody and pulled the trigger.
I have not.
Let me ask you something, Investigator Jordan. I'm still calling you Investigator. That's what you are to me. When Cyrus Carmack-Belton walked out of 7441 Parkland Road, May 28, 2023, was he walking or running?
Walking.
Was he combative with the Chows, or was he polite to them?
He's very polite.
Okay. In contrast, what were Rick Chow and his son Andy doing when they left the store?
Hastily running after him or hurrying out of the store to try to catch him.
They're hauling ass.
Yes.
What did Cyrus do when he saw two grown men running at him and screaming?
Your Honor, the video speaks for itself, and now we're editorializing.
Thank you. On the other hand, when Cyrus turns the corner after he's walking, what does he do when grown men are running after him, screaming at him?
Appear to be scared and take off running.
Where again was Cyrus Carmack-Belton shot and killed?
On his body,
Where was his body found?
on Spring Tree Drive,
Do you know how far away?
over a football field.
You were asked a lot of questions and about what you find suspicious and what could have happened here and there. Cyrus Carmack-Belton did not steal anything from that store.
He did not.
Had he been left alone to walk away, not been chased, if everybody stayed in the store whose name was Chow, would this situation have occurred?
No.
Thank you.
Recall.
Thank you. The solicitor just asked you, I don't really have one question. He asked you in your 25 years, you have never had to pull your firearm?
He asked me if I had to shoot somebody.
And the answer is no.
Never shot anybody.
Have you ever been in a position where somebody has pointed a firearm at a loved one while you were sitting there watching?
Actually, had the firearm pulled on me. On a loved one, no.
On a loved one, no?
No.
Different situation.
It is.
Thank you so much.
All right, you can step down, sir. Thank you.